Hello, everyone. My name is. Damn it. Hello, everyone. My name is Yeezy Bizarre Adventure. I am new to YouTube. Hello, it is amazing to meet you all. Uh, I don't know really what I want to do with the channel at the moment, but I know a few things that I like. Anime being one of them. So I'm gonna try making some content on that. Maybe a few other things. Like what you see. Stick around. Look forward to more videos. And let's get right into it. Uh, Today's topic is, as you can see, if you are familiar with the anime One Piece, the world of government. Now, One Piece is a world of water, just pure ocean with islands and peninsulas everywhere. A small, large, tall, short, weirdly shaped. Any island you can imagine, the One Piece world probably has it, and they're scattered everywhere throughout all the different seas in the Grand Line. And most of them are under the jurisdiction of the world government. And the world government, being that it operates in a mostly water-based world, is pretty much just one big navy, and is called the Navy, and is modeled after real world navies. They have their own chain of command, starting from the lowest of the low, the person that you do not want to be, the chore boys. Now, I feel bad for chore boys because they're janitors for people with superpowers. Imagine having to clean up after someone made of magma. No. Why? That's not fun at all. Or someone made of like mud. Yeah, have fun with that. Awful. But then you got the highest of the regular chain of command, which is the Fleet Admiral. Now, there are, I believe, 3 Fleet Admirals that we know of. The first that we know of being Kong, who's moved on to a different position and retired from the normal chain of command. The second being Sengoku, also retired. He retired after the Marine Forward War, where they fought a giant earthquake. And he's still in the Marines, but because as a fleet admiral, you're the leader of an organization. You know everything there is to know about them, all their dirty little secrets, which world government has quite a lot of. So he's not just allowed to go off to some island somewhere and just eat rice crackers for the rest of his days. No, he has to eat, he just eats rice crackers as I believe he's an investigator of some sort. He's just chilling now though. He's just his hair is all white. He's an old man eating cookies and stuff, doing whatever he wants. He's chilling. But the current fleet admiral is Akainu, the man of lava. And the fleet admiral, he runs the world government. He runs the Marines, the Navy, all that. Or mainly just the Navy. He has other people that he answers to, but they're not in the normal chain of command for the Navy. Everyone in that chain of command, they're basically like his dogs. They listen to him. Directly under him are his 3 regular admirals. Those be 2 of which got slotted out for new people. That being himself, Akainu. He got bumped up to fleet admiral, so that left a vacancy. And Aokiji, the former admiral, one of the former admirals, and one of the contestants for fleet admiral, along with Akainu. They fought. He lost. Did not want to stick around for Kainu's version of the Marines. Can't blame him. Kainu's kinda not a good dude at all. So he just dipped out. So that left a second vacancy. Only person who stayed was Kizaru. He's still in his normal admiral spot. Man made of light. His devil fruit is the Pika Pika no Mi, I believe. And yeah, he's a light man. He can turn into light. He shoots these laser beams and stuff. They're super cool. They like pew pew and big boom. He can make this light sword, which looks pretty dope. And his main style of fighting seems to be kicks and aerial attacks with his lasers, which is pretty cool. It reminds me of one of the main characters of the show, Sanji. His main fighting style is also kicks, and I can definitely see them like going at it eventually, like as like Sanji's like final battle. And I feel like it'd be a really cool one for him as well. But moving on to the two new admirals, one of which we don't really know anything about, other than I don't think he's the normal Logia for that the previous three were. We don't know exactly what he is. Could be a Zoan, could be a Paramecia, maybe a mythical Zoan, even. But I believe his name is Granbull, and the only thing we really know much about him is I think his stuff has to do with plants, maybe, and he doesn't have to eat apparently. So maybe, well, he could be a Logia, I guess. There's no real way to I don't think there's any deconfirming that just yet. Maybe I don't quite remember. Could see him being an algae Logia. That'd be cool. Or maybe like some type of mythical Zoan, making him kind of like Poison Ivy or something from comic books. But we don't really know much about him. Granbull's kind of a mystery. We've seen his silhouette, I believe, but that's about it. Definitely look forward to seeing more of him. But the one that we have seen, and that we know a decent little bit about, is Admiral Fujitora, the wielder of the Gravity Paramecia, which is a pretty dope Paramecia to have. If you have gravity powers in anime, you're guaranteed to be OP. Now, he's a special brand of OP because he's just pulling meteors out the sky and slicing people up while being a blind old man. But hey, I'm not gonna argue when Oda gives us like a cool character like that. Dope, completely dope. He actually clashes with Akainu quite a lot in terms of ideals, but we'll talk about that later on. Moving on to other important Marines, I guess, or ones that I find specifically important that I feel like are gonna have a much larger role in the story going forward. I believe Garp, Luffy's grandfather, Vice Admiral Garp, the hero Garp, the defeater of the Rocks Pirates, and the rival to the Pirate King Gold D. Roger. I believe that he's the main character's granddad. He's a pretty important character, very well known throughout the entire world. I feel like he may be retired, but I feel like there's gonna be some stuff going on with him later. He's old, he's wise, he's powerful, he's got a whole lot of stuff going on, and most importantly, he's the main character's grandfather. I feel like we gotta see more of him, and he's also pretty much a fan favorite. A lot of people love this dude. That Oda's just gotta show more of him, I feel like. Next up, we have Koby and Helmeppo. They're like a little duo. Originally, Koby was pretty much a straggler that Luffy picked up when he just clocked this elephant-looking lady across the face and sent her flying off her own ship. Stole her chore boy. But, yeah, Koby went with Luffy. They went to a town. They fought bad marines. Just first little arc, picked up Zoro. And Koby and Helmeppo, also the son of the antagonist for that arc, he and Koby went off to officially join the Marines, becoming chore boys for them. Kind of sucks for Koby that he went from chore boy right back to chore boy. But gotta start somewhere, you know? Now, though, Koby is a captain, which fairly decent, right? He's moving up in the world, and Helmeppo is just below him. I think a lieutenant, maybe? I can't remember what the one just below captain is. But I might be thinking of Bleach, since I know they have lieutenants. But yeah, he's pretty much just below Kobe, and they've both grown tremendous amounts, trained by Garp himself. So you know they gotta grow, you know they gotta get stronger, and Kobe in particular, out of the two, I feel like will have a very important role. He's already off on a mission to do some pretty cool stuff that we'll talk about later on in the video. But Helmeppo, I also think he definitely got a design upgrade. Before he looked so lame, and he acted so lame too. Just imagine the richest, snottiest little kid you can imagine, and just crank that annoyance dial up by at least like 20. It's just so awful, so overbearing to deal with. God, just disgusts me. But now he's pretty cool. Even his design looks cool. He's kind of like the strong, silent type. Uses this cool looking little sword. Like, pretty dope. Pretty dope. But yeah, they got trained directly by Garp. So you know they're gonna have some type of importance. Helmeppo probably less than Kobe, but I feel like he'll at least get his little time to shine. Maybe even get to confront his father, beat him up or something. But after that we have Smoker and Tashigi, and Garp had a dynamic with the Pirate King Roger, where they were like Garp was always going after him, always hunting him down, always fighting, and they were almost rivals in a way. And Smoker has that same dynamic going with Luffy. But the only real difference seems to be that Garp and Roger were always kind of like neck and neck power-wise. They were always right at each other. It's not really been that way with Luffy and Smoker. At first, Smoker was just way above Luffy's pay grade, way out of his league. Luffy couldn't even touch him because he didn't have Haki yet, and Smoker is the Smoke Logia. Big shocker with that kind of name. But and now in the part after the time skip, we actually got to see them fight. I believe it was him and Tashigi, and yeah, they got dogged on. They got trashed. They got knocked out. They're gone. But I feel like that gap might eventually close, especially since now Smoker has seen exactly like what he has to get to in order to keep going and keep chasing Luffy. And I really feel like that's something that's going to stay constant, and he's going to end up being a lot like Garp. But there's also a chain of command outside of the Navy, or the Marines in particular, that kind of oversees the world government, in a sense. Like the commander-in-chief being the first of them, and his power goes over that of the fleet admirals. It's Kong, the very first fleet admiral that I mentioned. We don't really know much about him, other than now he is the commander-in-chief. And so he presides over the fleet admiral when need be, can take control of the forces, send them off to do whatever. But and he serves directly under the Five Elders. Now, the Five Elders, not much are really known about them. There are some theories, some of which are really cool. Which, like, one of them might have, like, some type of, like, cursed sword from the family of swords. That's one of the swords that Zoro has, like, a kind of like an upgraded version of that. And they all look fairly cool. Some look battle-hardened and battle-worn, and, like, they look like they could be pretty tough. And they all completely command the Marines. And they serve the Tenryubito, a.k.a. the World Nobles, a.k.a. the Heavenly Dragons. Now, Tenryubito, not very good people. They pretty much own the world. Like, actually own the world. Like, these people could, like, one of their kids could probably buy Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk their entire everything. But yeah, they just rule over pretty much everything. Everything just goes back to them. The entirety of the Marines, the entirety of the world, and they're not good people either, because like they've shown to be very even worse than El Mepo when it comes to snottiness and spoiledness. Like from every single one. I can't imagine having to work for people like that. An entire group of people, and it's not like there's just like 5, 10. Like it's like a whole community, like a whole town, whole city. They suck. They also own slaves. The entirety of the slave trade is pretty much just them. They're awful. But moving on, and actually segues into the next thing about the world government is their extreme corruption. Not only do they serve literally the worst people in the show, but it seems that higher-ranking Marines can kind of just off and unalive lower-ranking Marines. Like Akainu, for instance. I can't remember if it went down exactly like this, but I believe during Marine Forward War, if I remember correctly, there were some Marines trying to run away, as you do when you're fighting a walking earthquake. They were the smart ones in that situation, as far as I'm concerned. So they tried to run away. Akainu had an argument with them. They liked breathing. He didn't like that they liked that, so he made them stop. Then the argument just ended there. And he pretty much almost did that to Kobe, because I think Kobe witnessed it. And if he had noticed Kobe witnessing it, oh boy, Kobe would be an ash pile. That man would be gone. Which would suck, because Kobe is such a cool character now. But, yeah, and he's the fleet admiral now. So he killed his fellow Marines and just got a promotion. I guess that's just how it works there. Seems super corrupt to me. But another thing about them is they tend to work with pirates, and not like the good pirates, like the main characters, Luffy and the gang. They're always against them. But like it seems like the more evil the pirate is, the higher the chance that they're gonna work with them. For instance, there was this in the Arlong Park arc, which obviously is about Arlong, and like that Fishman arc, there was this one character, I can't remember his name, I think it might have been Nezu. He's a super ratty, also annoying character who was just like so like snobby, just oozing a rat-like essence. It was like a walking vial of rat juice. And he was very much accepting bribes from Arlong and his pirate group, who, keep in mind, were terrorizing and destroying that village, both physically and economically. And he was accepting bribes from them, and allowing them to do whatever they wanted with the town. Kill whoever they wanted, steal from whoever they wanted, just raise the town whenever it felt like it, and wouldn't do anything. Didn't call any other Marines, which I could understand if he was like, I'm not going to do anything. This Arlong guy could toss me, like, through the ocean itself. But he could have, like, gone and, like, called it in. But no, just take some bribes. Don't do your actual job. Just be corrupt. Yeah, he is cool, dude. He got his just desserts. It don't matter. But they also, Marines themselves will even rule over towns. In, like, the first arc, or, like, the second arc, where they, like, get Helmeppo into the Marines, or, like, Helmeppo is forced into the Marines, and Kobe goes as well, and they get Zoro on the crew. They fight this Marine called Captain Axehand Morgan. This man is crazy. Absolutely crazy. He had a statue built of himself atop the Marine base there, he ruled the entire town with utter fear, and like in such a way that his son just thought, I do whatever I want. Like he would like just straight up abusive to everyone around him. His like underlings were even like terrified of him. They didn't even like anything that was going on. They were happy as heck to see him go. They wanted him up out of there. Wanted him gone immediately. But yeah, there's just one of the things that about the Marine, they don't follow any sort of rule set, it seems like. It's like if you're a captain or around there or above, you can literally just do whatever you want, wherever you want to do it. You want to rule a town? Cool. You want to take bribes from an extremely dangerous pirate group? Cool. You want to murder some people? Have fun. Go at it, boyo. But, not only that, but their whole Shichibukai system, which is the seven warlords of the sea, which it's not around anymore because, spoiler alert, for people who haven't fully caught up with the anime. I'm an anime only watcher. I don't know how far it has progressed yet in the manga, but just recently, again, spoiler alert, just in case you're still listening to this part, but they disbanded the Shichibukai system completely, and they're on their way to attempt to arrest the pirates who are part of that. Which, good luck with that. I don't think that's going to work out well for any of them. Unless they send, like, an admiral to, like, for instance, Mihawk. I don't know, man. I don't know if that'd even be enough. Mihawk seemed like he'd go kind of crazy. But they're all trying to arrest all of them. But before, and this is only because they got so much pressure put on them by the nobles of the rest of the world. Not the world nobles, not the Tenryubito, not the heavenly dragons, but just like the other nobles within the world. And they got pressure put on them, so they're like, fine, put it to a vote, get rid of this system, whatever. But before that, they were benefiting so much from it. But the pirates were benefiting even more. Because they got to do whatever they want. For free. Well, not completely for free. They had to, like, work for the world government whenever the world government needed something, like in the Marineford War. Then they all came together to fight against Whitebeard's crew. But, other than that, they just did whatever. And the Marines were just like, I don't care. You do you. And they did them. And a common instance of it is apparently they like to take over kingdoms. Crocodile, for instance. One of the first, I think the first warlord that is shown and that we meet. He's attempting to take over Alabasta Kingdom and get his hands on one of the greatest ancient world weapons. I can't remember which one. Might have been maybe like Jupiter. Maybe I think they're named after planets. I think one is called Neptune. One is Jupiter. One might be Mars? I don't know. I cannot remember for the life of me. But he's trying to get his hands on that. But that ends up falling through. Luffy ends up kicking the crap out of him after like third, fourth try, something like that. But the only then does the world government step in and be like, aha! Your evil deeds, Crocodile. Stop that. And then they arrest him, throw him in prison. But, the thing is, they don't even, they cover up the whole incident. As if it, like, they don't really cover it up completely, but they cover up the part where a pirate beat up the other pirate to help free the kingdom. Which, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. And the same thing happened again in the Dressrosa arc, which the Doflamingo and his crew, they actually succeeded. They succeeded long ago. He at that point he is king of that kingdom, and he has been king for a while. But he just came in, basically just took over the whole thing violently, unbeknownst to the citizens of the kingdom, since he pinned it on the previous ruler, and he just started going on a rampage. After that, he takes over, starts turning people into toys. Man is a menace. But the world government, they just let this happen. They let a pirate be king of a previously regular kingdom, regular nation. They let a pirate crew run it, and run it into the ground. And it's like, that's one of the biggest examples of corruption in the Marines for me. But another, and this one I feel like is just kind of messed up. Or not even kind of, just like really messed up. If they don't like you, they'll just kill you. But if they really don't like you, they gonna kill your kids. With Roger, after his execution, it was thought that, okay, maybe he has a kid somewhere. We don't want that kid following in his footsteps. So what do? They search for the kid to kill it. And now I imagine, like, it was probably like pregnant women that they were more searching for. Imagine that. It's weird to think about. They probably killed so many people looking for, like, this theoretical child that did end up existing, and that they later killed. But it's crazy, man. And of course, that's not very well known. They cover that up, like they do most things that would harm their image. But would they cover up even more? And it's this huge secret that we're just waiting to learn more about. It's the time gap. I can't remember how long the time gap is, but it's this huge period in the past where nothing is known. Absolutely, like, mostly nothing is known. All that's really known is that some nobles rose to ultimate power, those being the Tenryubito. And that's about it. That's about all we really know. And but this town of or island of Ohara was attempting to learn more through translating the ancient language and learning how to translate it, or like, and really not even doing anything out of pocket, just learning. And they got what is known as a buster call called on them. And a buster call is when someone presses a special little button, and a whole fleet of ships containing, I think it contains an admiral usually, and they'll come and they'll turn that island into a Wusland. And that's just kind of what they did with Ohara. They destroyed everyone on it. They destroyed the island. Like, men, women, children, didn't matter. Just blown back completely. Only person that escaped was one of the main characters, part of Luffy's crew, Nico Robin. And the only reason she escaped is with the help of, I believe his name was John? Might have been John the Giant? Feel free to correct me if I got the name wrong. But it was a giant marine that helped her escape at the cost of his life. And this again leads into another thing I wanted to talk about, which is like the complete clashing of ideals in the Marines. It's like a thing that happens so often. Like with John the Giant, he wasn't feeling that whole kill everyone, destroy the island thing. He could not stomach that. He had to help Robin get off that island. He had to. And so he did. It was a clash of ideals, and that clash of ideals cost him his life, but thankfully saved Robin's. And this is present throughout more of the Marines as well. Like with Garp, his whole presence in the Marine is pretty much a clash with Marine ideals, because like his big thing is, he doesn't want to be an admiral. He's just staying at vice admiral, even though he's more than powerful enough, more than famous enough. He has ultimate clout in the Marines. He's gotten so many promotions for admiral, he could be one so easily. But he decides not to. And his reason for deciding not to is because he thinks it's going to infringe on his freedom, which it probably would. He'd become a direct dog for the world nobles, and he hates the world nobles. He hates them. Arguably his biggest accomplishment was when he defeated the Rocks crew, and now he defeated them along with Roger, which the Marines obviously covered that part up and just said is just Garp. But Garp tries to cover the whole thing up because he was fighting apparently in protection of the world nobles. He hates them so much that he's like, I don't care about the clout. I don't care. I don't want it. I don't want it. He hates them that much. His ideas of freedom go completely against what the admirals do and what the Tenryubito do, as they are slave traders and slave owners. And another thing is the three forms of justice that we've seen in the original three admirals from the beginning of the show: Akainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru. Kizaru's is pretty much the most simple, the most basic. It's well, not really most basic, just the most simple. It's lazy justice, which he's just a lazy dude. He'll dish out his justice, but he'll do it lazily. He'll do it at his leisure. Won't go too crazy with it. Won't really care too much. And just do him. Good old Kizaru. Now, Kainu's is just absolute justice, if I remember correctly. And his is just, it doesn't matter. Marines are right. Pirates and everyone else are wrong. No matter what the Marines do. Marines can do whatever they want, whatever they please, and everyone else shut up and deal with it. That's pretty much his form of justice, which is in line with the five elders and the Tenryubito. So the five elders chose him as their candidate for fleet admiral. Now, I believe Sengoku, the former fleet admirals, are usually supposed to choose the next fleet admiral, and Sengoku, I think it was Sengoku who endorsed him. If it wasn't, then this whole all that I just forget about it. But he endorsed Aokiji, but the clash of ideals was so great that they just broke off tradition. Said, "Hey, we want this dude. We're willing to lose this other dude over it." And so they had them fight, and Aokiji lost. And so he said, "You know what? Okay. I'm not a fan of your absolute justice. I'm going to go off somewhere and do my own thing." And Aokiji's justice, for the record, I believe, I can't remember what it was called. It might have been like True Justice, which his was the most like fair. It was like, let's be good people. Let's like help the world. Not be evil, you know. Just like, it would have been a good fleet admiral. But that was not a position that was liked very much. So he had to get about it. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on was was what I spoke about earlier, Smoker's role in the Alabasta arc, where he received credit for something he didn't do. Smoker didn't like that. He didn't like that at all. He was miffed. He was smoke coming out of the ears. Bad pun, yes, I know. But he was upset about it. He did not want the credit at all because he knew he hadn't done it. He knew it was wrong for him to receive credit. He knew what the world government was doing. Now, it was still early on in the show, and he's still only a captain at the time, so he would not dare go against it. He was just, whatever, I don't like this, but I'll accept. And so he did. But he made his discontent very clear in the show. So, and that it just goes to show another clash of ideals where it's like the government imposes their own ideals onto someone else, and the other person doesn't like it. It's just they have a completely different set of beliefs, even though they're part of the same organization. which this whole thing just kind of leads me personally to believe. I don't know if this will actually happen, but I think it would be interesting and wouldn't be too far fetched if it did. I think that it might be possible if like they there was a big marine falling out. Maybe Aokiji comes back to like create an uprising, or Garp does it, or maybe even Sengoku, or maybe they all three come. They all three just lead this uprising in the Marines to try to like fix the Marines, and like there's this big Marine civil war pretty much, and it changes the entire course of the story. Like maybe one of the Yonko decides to take advantage of the situation, or the revolutionaries join in on the side of the good Marines, or maybe as a completely third opposing faction and just tries to wipe them all out. You never know. I think it's just a cool little idea, cool little thing that might maybe happen. Maybe. I don't think it's too far fetched. Probably won't though. Probably won't happen. But yeah, world government in One Piece is pretty cool. It's pretty interesting to talk about. Pretty interesting to look stuff up about it, to learn about it. And I hope you all enjoyed listening to this and learning a thing or two as well. And if you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like, subscribe. If you didn't, feel free to leave a dislike. Let me know in the comments any Marines that you have a particular interest in, what you think about the world government in the show, if you think it's nicely done, or if you don't really like it too much, if you think what you think might be able to be done better. And thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.